At first glance, Haidou 1 does not look like a machine built for one of the most hostile environments on Earth. It is only about 3.8 meters long, roughly 1.1 meters wide, and 1.6 meters high. In air, it weighs about 2.64 tons. Yet this compact red and yellow robot was designed to work at depths approaching 11 kilometers, where the ocean above it produces crushing pressure. Communication becomes difficult, and even a small failure can end a mission permanently. But surviving the descent is only the beginning. Haidou 1 has to cruise autonomously across the seabed, stop and hold its position, identify a target, switch into remote control operation, and use a robotic arm precisely enough to collect samples. The central question is simple. How do engineers build one underwater vehicle that can survive full ocean depth pressure while behaving like an autonomous survey robot, a remotely operated vehicle, and a robotic work platform at the same time? Haidou 1 was developed under the leadership of the Shenyang Institute of Automation of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, working with more than 10 research organizations. Its design belongs to a hybrid category known as an ARV, an autonomous and remotely operated vehicle. A conventional AUV is optimized to travel without a tether and make decisions from onboard navigation and mission software. A conventional ROV remains connected to operators and is usually built for close inspection and manipulation. Haidou 1 was designed to combine both approaches without changing its basic structure at sea. That combination immediately changes the way the vehicle has to be engineered. A free-swimming survey robot benefits from a streamlined body and efficient propulsion. A working ROV benefits from strong station keeping, multiple thrusters, continuous communication, cameras, lights, and a manipulator. Haidou 1 needs both personalities inside the same 2.6-ton machine. The first problem is pressure. At full ocean depth, every electrical connection, pressure housing, seal, sensor interface, battery system, and moving joint has to continue functioning after an enormous increase in external pressure. There is no single strong hull that solves everything. Some components must be protected inside pressure-resistant enclosures. Others must be designed so that pressure is balanced rather than resisted. Buoyancy materials must keep enough volume under compression for the vehicle to remain controllable. And the mass of every installed subsystem affects the final balance. Power is therefore one of the earliest critical systems. Haidou 1's full-depth energy architecture includes a pressure-resistant lithium battery system developed for Haidou operation. The engineering challenge is not simply storing enough electrical energy. The battery has to deliver power to propulsion, control electronics, sensors, lighting, cameras, communications, and the manipulator, while surviving the same pressure cycle as the rest of the vehicle. For a machine that may spend hours descending before the real work even begins, wasted energy directly reduces time available on the bottom. Around that power system is the vehicle's compact monohull architecture. The body has to carry equipment while preserving a shape that can travel efficiently through water. Its buoyancy and center of gravity must be carefully matched. During descent, seawater temperature, density, and pressure change continuously. Those changes affect how the vehicle behaves in the water. Engineers cannot simply make it slightly buoyant at the surface and assume it will remain that way 11 kilometers below. The result is a machine whose balance is part of its control system. Haidou 1's stern carries two main thrusters mounted on independently rotating elevator structures. Near the front are fixed vertical thrusters, and in its fully actuated working configuration, additional thrusters help it hold position. By changing thrust direction instead of relying only on fixed propellers, the vehicle can move efficiently during transit and produce the more controlled forces needed during close work. This is where the design becomes unusual. When the stern elevators rotate, the main thrusters can contribute to vertical control. During normal movement, those same thrusters can provide forward propulsion. Researchers studying Haidou 1 have shown that using this under-actuated arrangement can reduce propulsion energy use compared with relying only on vertical thrusters. In a vehicle with limited stored energy, propulsion efficiency is not an abstract number. It can become additional survey distance, more time on the seabed, or a larger safety reserve. But reaching an object is different from touching it. At the bow, Haidou 1 carries a full ocean depth electric manipulator with 6 degrees of freedom, plus a clamping function. The arm can collect sediment, trigger water sampling devices, place markers, and retrieve objects. Every joint has to work at Haidou depth. But the harder control problem begins after the arm moves. A manipulator pushes back on the vehicle that carries it. On land, an industrial robot is bolted to the floor. Haidou 1 is floating. If the arm extends, rotates, or grips a sample, the reaction force can shift the entire vehicle and move the gripper away from its target. Haidou 1 therefore has to coordinate its thrusters with manipulator motion to maintain position and attitude. And the target itself can change the vehicle. Published control research models Haidou 1, carrying samples of up to about 30 kilograms. Once that mass is picked up, the center of gravity, residual buoyancy, and dynamic behavior can change. The robot that approaches the sample is not mathematically identical to the robot that leaves with it. If you enjoy seeing engineering explained from the constraint outward, instead of just looking at the finished machine, this is exactly what Modus Assembly is built around. The next challenge is knowing where the vehicle is. GPS signals do not penetrate thousands of meters of seawater. Haidou 1 instead relies on deep-sea acoustic positioning together with onboard multi-sensor navigation. Its cameras provide visual information close to the seabed, while acoustic systems can support positioning and survey work beyond the reach of light. The vehicle has also been used for high-precision depth measurement and bathymetric investigation in Challenger Deep. Then there is communication. In autonomous mode, Haidou 1 can conduct wide-area survey work without being continuously piloted. When operators need real-time, high-bandwidth observation and control, the vehicle can work through a thin optical fiber connection. This allows the same machine to shift from searching to close inspection and intervention. That sequence, survey, identify, approach, manipulate, is the real reason for combining AUV and ROV characteristics. None of this could be trusted after assembly without a careful progression of tests. By March 2019, the project had completed laboratory integration and pool testing. The next step was not the Mariana Trench. It was a lake. During almost a month of lake trials, Haidou 1 completed more than 30 dives. Engineers checked individual functions, integrated performance, and its combined autonomous and remote control abilities. The lake gave the team a place to discover control, communication, propulsion, and operational problems, where recovery was still manageable. Only after that came progressively deeper sea testing. In 2019, the vehicle completed a 4,500-meter class trial in the South China Sea, including more than 10 dives and a soft landing on the seabed. The team also practiced launch and recovery in difficult sea conditions. That matters because a full-depth vehicle is not useful if it can survive 11 kilometers down, but cannot be safely lowered from and recovered to a moving research vessel. In 2020, after another technical verification cruise, Haidou 1 was taken to the Mariana Trench. There, the incremental development process finally met the environment it had been built for. During the expedition, Haidou 1 completed 4 dives deeper than 10,000 meters. Its maximum reported depth reached 10,907 meters. On the bottom, it did more than record a depth number. It carried out acoustic survey lines, high-definition imaging, water collection, sediment sampling, marker placement, and manipulator operations. On one dive, it soft-landed near the seabed at 10,884 meters, performed its planned work, released ballast, and returned safely to the surface. That distinction is important. A record-breaking descent can prove that a structure survives. Repeated work on the seabed begins to prove that the entire vehicle functions as a system. Haidou 1 continued to be used and developed after the original record mission. And in July 2026, the program demonstrated a different kind of capability in the Philippine Sea. During 7 Haidou dives, Haidou 1 worked at around 7,700 meters alongside the Chinese manned submersible Haidou. The two vehicles rendezvoused underwater and carried out coordinated scientific tasks, including photography, sample collection, tool exchange, marker recovery, and other joint operations. That mission points toward the larger engineering payoff. The value of Haidou 1 is not that one red and yellow robot can visit an extreme depth. It is that the same platform can move through 3 roles. It can search autonomously over a wider area. It can identify a point worth investigating. And when human judgment becomes useful, it can transition into close proximity remote intervention. Building that capability required much more than making a pressure-resistant shell. The power system had to survive full depth. The body had to preserve buoyancy and balance. Thrusters had to provide efficient travel and precise station keeping. Navigation had to work where satellite signals disappear. A fiber link had to provide real-time control without turning the vehicle into a conventional heavy tether ROV. And a 7-function manipulator had to perform useful work while the entire platform floated freely in the water. The answer to the central question is therefore not one exotic material or one breakthrough component. Haidou 1 reaches full ocean depth because many ordinary engineering problems, energy, sealing, buoyancy, propulsion, control, sensing, manipulation, launch, recovery, and testing were solved as one integrated system. At nearly 11 kilometers below the surface, there is no maintenance crew. There is no easy rescue. The machine has to carry its own margins with it. That is what makes Haidou 1 interesting as a manufacturing story. Its achievement is not simply going deeper. It is arriving at the bottom as a working robot, doing useful physical tasks, and coming back ready to dive again. This is Modus Assembly. If you want more documentaries about the machines, manufacturing systems, and engineering decisions behind advanced technology, subscribe and join us for the next build.